The Los Angeles Lakers need to make signing Jamarion Sharp their #1 priority ahead of the start of the Summer League. Not because Sharp's a guaranteed future starter or because he instantly solves every frontcourt issue they have, but because he offers something this roster desperately needs in the form of a low-risk, high-reward move. That being speed, size, athleticism, and some elite shot blocking. In a league increasingly focused on finding the mismatch, Sharp represents a low-risk gamble that smart organizations are going to bring on board, and hopefully that's going to be the Lakers. At 7'5" with a monstrous wingspan and elite standing reach, Sharp's certainly not your typical developmental big. Players with his freakish length simply doesn't grow on trees, and for a Lakers team built around elite playmakers like Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, Jamarion Sharp could position himself to be highly impactful if he were to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers superstar Luka Doncic and the front office have made it clear they need a true lob threat, as in the past Luka Doncic has spent years weaponizing vertical spacing, partnering up with rim-running centers like Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford, as the mere presence of a lob threat elevated the entire Dallas Mavericks offense. Whether it was a pocket pass in traffic, a lob over the top, or a high pick-and-roll read that froze the weak side defense, Luka thrives when paired with a big man who forces defenses to respect the rim. Same applies to Austin Reeves, who brings a similar dynamic. His craftiness as a pick-and-roll ball handler continues to improve, and he excels at manipulating defenders with pace and hesitation. Now imagine giving both of them, potentially even with LeBron James as well, a target like Jamarion Sharp. Sharp doesn't need post touches, he doesn't need isolations, he doesn't need offensive sets run specifically for him, as his role will be quite simple, and that simplicity is exactly what makes him intriguing. All he has to do is what he's been doing his entire basketball career, that being set hard screens, roll violently to the rim, catch lobs, finish above defenders with his freakish length, and punish teams that collapse on Luka and Reeves. We haven't even mentioned the fact that the Lakers need rim protection extremely badly. For far too long now, opposing guards have been going downhill with minimal resistance, and much of it's due to the fact that ever since the departure of Anthony Davis, the Lakers have yet to acquire a big man who takes pride in protecting the rim. Well, fortunately, Sharp could be that eraser, as just from his sheer size alone, it changes shots before they even happen. With his towering 7'9" wingspan, opposing players now must alter their layups simply because he's near the basket. As his game matures, he'll learn that he doesn't need to swat every attempt, and that his greatest defensive value is psychological, forcing opposing teams to hesitate around the basket. That was obvious in the G League, where Sharp turned raw physical tools into elite production, and he has the accolades to prove it, as in 2026 he was named the G League Defensive Player of the Year. In just 25 games for the Texas Legends, Sharp averaged an efficient 7 points and 7 rebounds and a league-leading 3.8 blocks per game while shooting an absurd 73% from the field. Nearly 4 blocks per game at the professional level is not normal, it's dominant. He wasn't just blocking shots, he was anchoring entire defensive identity. That kind of rim protection can't be taught. It's a rare game-changing skill that only Jamarion Sharp and very few others have. That's why signing Sharp to a Summer League deal or a two-way deal is a low-risk, high-upside play they need to make immediately. At worst, he doesn't stick and the Lakers move on with virtually no downside. At best, they discover a developmental big worthy of a fully guaranteed contract, someone they could groom within their system while continuing to refine his body and fundamentals. Not every roster improvement comes in the form of a blockbuster trade or marquee free agent signing. Sometimes value is found in overlooked players with elite singular traits, and in this case, Sharp's trait's obvious, he's physically overwhelming. Similar to San Antonio Spurs superstar Victor Wembanyama. Entering into the offseason, the same question will be asked by every front office: how do you defend a 7'4" generational anomaly with guard skills, elite touch, and absurd length? The truth is there is no perfect answer, but there is a starting point, and it begins with size. Jamarion Sharp is one of the few players in professional basketball who can stand across from Victor Wembanyama without looking dramatically outsized. Sharp's combination of length and speed gives him at least a fighting chance to contest Victor Wembanyama's shots and disrupt angles that most defenders typically can't reach. No, Sharp isn't a Wembanyama stopper, but in the league searching desperately for physical counters to extreme length, Jamarion Sharp offers rare dimensions that are worth exploring. Jamarion Sharp's arguably the most interesting prospect still available, as he's a massive lob threat, a developing rim protector, and a physically unique prospect who costs almost nothing to evaluate. So let me know down in the comment section below, should the Los Angeles Lakers bring Jamarion Sharp into Summer League to audition? But that's it for the video, take it easy guys.